Does your organization struggle with operational efficiency, dispersed security policies, and lack of visibility? Well, I can assure you that if you do, you are also exposing yourself to security threats, financial losses, operational disruptions, and potential reputational damage. In the next 10 minutes, I'm going to demonstrate how Cisco can solve all those problems for you and your teams, as well as exceed any of your AI and IT initiatives moving forward. What you are seeing here is Cisco's secure network architecture that will transform your infrastructure into the well-oiled machine that it needs to be to make you successful. Take notice of the common policy that extends through the architecture. I'll demonstrate how to define that common policy and apply it to what used to be your dispersed security posture or lack thereof. Now, before I dive into the demonstration, I want to highlight how Cisco is tackling these challenges from the perspective of the campus, the WAN, the data center, and the cloud. Most importantly, how we are stitching all of this together with that common policy and segmentation strategy, allowing you to secure your environment end to end like no other vendor can do today. We're going to take a cloud first approach to this journey. We're going to start off in the Meraki dashboard, and we can see that we have an organization summary page of a fictitious company called Sudoku. And if we look under network, we've got a sample network of Mexico City created. And when we go into Mexico City, we're immediately presented with a clients page that will show us all of the wired and wireless clients or devices on the network. I want to highlight two in this case. I want to highlight the BYOD wireless laptop, which currently sits on VLAN 99, and it has its IP address is 10.99.105.205. I also want to highlight the managed wired laptop, which sits on VLAN 10 and is 10.10.105.210. So two different VLANs, two subnets for two different devices. One we call trusted, one we would call untrusted. The idea is that we want to consolidate or eliminate, minimize the number of VLANs and SGTs needed to make this microsegmentation happen. So let's go ahead and do that now. Let's go over to Organization Fabric. And we can see also that within Meraki dashboard, we have some new capabilities that we're able to perform with our Catalyst switches. So if we look in the Cloud Fabric, we now have the ability to create the BGP, EVPN, VXLAN type fabrics that we know and love from our data centers, right? We do that with our Nexus Dashboard Fabric Controller. So now we have the ability to do that same fabric build at our branch sites using the dashboard with Catalyst switches. So let's look at the topology. We can see that we have Catalyst 9500s as the border and spines. We can see that we have Catalyst 9300s for the leaf switches. We can see that if we go to VRFs, we have that macro level segmentation that we want for the various different devices. And last but not least, if we look at the fabric subnets, we can see that they are in fact separated by VLAN and VRF. So let's go ahead over to Cisco Identity Services Engine. And what we want to do in ICE is we want to go to Work Centers Components. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to add a security group for BYOD. So all we're going to do is call it BYOD, give it a quick description. And once we hit submit, we can see that we have a BYOD security group created with decimal value 27. And it's immediately been synchronized with not only Security Cloud Control, but Secure Access as well, and the Meraki dashboard. So let's go back to the Meraki dashboard. And we're going to go over to Access Manager. And we're now going to create some policy around that BYOD security group. What we can see here is a nice matrix of the SGTs that are out there and who's allowed to talk to who. So we can see BYOD immediately came in, but there's no policy around it. So let's go ahead and we're going to change that. So if we come over to add policies, what we're going to do is we're going to select BYOD. And let's just, for this example, we use finance, right? So we're going to click finance. So what we're saying is BYOD should not be able to talk to finance. So let's deny that. We're immediately presented with a pop-up that says, hey, do you want to create a bidirectional rule so that finance can't talk to BYOD? Well, sure, let's go ahead and do that. Let's deny that. And we'll go ahead and we'll save that. Now, when we come back to our adaptive policy page, we can now see that finance can't talk to BYOD, nor can BYOD talk to finance. So that's exactly what we're looking to do. Now, let's go ahead and add a access rule. And we can see, again, we want to try to mimic what we've done for the managed devices like we had shown in the beginning of the demo. So let's go ahead and take this sudoku managed rule and let's go ahead and duplicate it. We'll change the name to sudoku BYOD, we'll enable it, and all we're going to do is uncheck sudoku managed and check BYOD, and we'll go ahead and save that. And what we should get is a new rule, sudoku BYOD, that is now on the list. Now, the other thing that we've taken into consideration is wrapping AI around all of this as well. So we can see in the top right, we have our AI assistant. So we're going to go ahead and click the AI assistant. And now we can start to ask it natural language questions. So let's ask it, what adaptive policies are assigned to the BYOD SGT? We can see that it spits back the adaptive policy that we just created, the bidirectional rule. That's fantastic. Let's go ahead and ask it what clients are assigned to that BYOD SGT. And we can now see that in the background, we can see that BYOD laptop has now re-authenticated onto the network, and we can see that it is on VLAN 10, okay? It's exactly what we're looking to do. So we've essentially got rid of VLAN 99. We no longer need it. We can now enforce the same micro segmentation that we want, but minimize the amount of VLANs and subnets needed to do so. Let's hop over to Security Cloud Control. It's important that we extend that same policy over to our secure WAN. So let's go to Firewall, WAN, Branch Edge, and we want to ensure that all of our Catalyst AK secure routers are enforcing that same policy. So we see we have an embedded security group SGT. Let's go ahead and edit that. We can see device to networking services. It's got that managed source, that managed SGT. So again, we're going to go in here. We're going to basically add BYOD to this source. Okay, we're going to save that. We hit save again, and now we've enforced the BYOD SGT across all of our Catalyst AK secure routers across the WAN. Coming back to the platform menu, let's go ahead and do the same thing for secure access. So we look for the managed SGT, which we can see is tied to rule number 7. So we're going to go ahead and edit that rule. We'll go ahead, we'll add BYOD, and we'll save that. So now we've effectively added the same SGT policy across the WAN as well as our secure access. Now that we've got those policies in place, let's go ahead and see what kind of telemetry data or insurance we can get out of it. So we'll come back to the AI assistant, and we'll now ask it, tell me about the BYOD wireless laptop. We can see it comes back with a high-level view of IP address, VLAN, data usage, that type of thing. Let's go ahead one level deeper. Take me to the client view. Now, when we go to the client view, it presents us with a client details link. Okay, we're going to go ahead and we're going to click that. And now we can see the 360 view of that client. We can see the laptop is connected to AP2, goes out leaf 1 to spine 1 to border 1. We can start to see some of the path that it takes across the network, right? Let's go ahead and let's take advantage of that Thousand Eyes assurance, that digital experience monitoring that we want to get richer data into, right? Now we're going to go to that wireless laptop. We know it's running the Thousand Eyes agent. We can see the network test that it is conducting over time. We can see that Microsoft 365, let's go ahead and look at the test details affiliated with that. Immediately we're presented with the metrics of loss, latency, and jitter over time. We can also see the HTTP server test, right? We can see a dip here. So we've got more insight into when, why, and where a problem may have occurred. Now let's go one level deeper. Let's see the path visualization inside of Thousand Eyes. And we can now see the entire path of that laptop out to wherever that destination may be. Whether it be on our owned infrastructure or unowned infrastructure, we can now get visibility into all of that data. So with that, I hope I have demonstrated how Cisco is delivering a secure end-to-end network architecture, simplifying operations, reducing security risks, and optimizing costs through micro and macro segmentation based on identity and common policy, and through our AI-driven assurance capabilities with Thousand Eyes. Thank you.